Welcome to Full Discourse. This is a food-centric, news-centric, internet-centric podcast where I invite people from all walks of the internet media landscape to talk shit and to talk about fun things. Today I have my very good friend slash fraternal identical twin brother that's not actually related to me, the founder of Food Beast, book of Elie Ayrouth. Welcome to the podcast.
Oui, bon oui, everybody.
Now, obviously, we're close. I know your company. I know a lot of people that work there. We've been working together pretty closely for the last almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Is it good that you are the voice of Food Beast?
I think this is the more interesting topic.
I think the interesting thing about that is you have a vision and you're the lead. You are the leader of the company because you own the company, and you've done a really good job at kind of having a team that follows that.
But here's the thing. I think what's interesting is I'm hearing a lot about how you can break through as a company. And I'm like, you're seeing a lot of companies that all of a sudden their marketing is the person that's running the company. Like Elon Musk is a guy that runs Tesla and like he's their marketing engine. You have Dave Portnoy at Barstool Sports. Like that's the dude. Like he has his content, but he's also running the company.
And there's tons of other personalities on the company as well.
Exactly. So like some people say it was a curse for a long time. Like, why would you be wearing your heart on your sleeve? But you know, where like Food Beast originated from like being inspired by companies that did that, like the Hundreds, Bobby and Ben, it's a clothing company. They're the face. Like they're talking about how they run their company.
Yeah.
A lot of CEOs of yesteryear is like they're kind of faceless. Like the companies are kind of faceless. They do a thing, they provide a service, they sell a product, but you don't really know anything about the people in the company. Now it's interesting to hear who runs a company and why they're doing it. People want to be connected to a person, less a brand. The brand is the person. So, but it's a good, like if someone doesn't like the way I talk, like you might not work with us.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
But you also might remember us versus the next, like name the owner of another major food publication.
Exactly.
I couldn't tell you.
Publication? Can't even.
Yeah. Or media company, or you know what I mean? So the ones you know now are like the Nick DiGiovanni's of the world, the Josh Elkins of the world. Like they're singular people. Those are companies, by the way. Like these
I know
companies.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
You know, you have employees, so do these other big creators. So I think the model shifted. Like Mr. Beast is the face of a company with 300 employees.
Yeah. Does he have that many employees?
Yeah.
Damn, good for him. I mean, he is the biggest content creator ever.
Yeah. But like the Try Guys is a company.
Yeah.
I don't know how big it is, but it's like a 20 or whatever person company.
Sure.
Like these are companies that are led by people. I think those are good examples.
Rhett and Link is a good example of
Rhett
that.
and Link is an amazing example.
Yeah.
And one that's lasted so long
Yeah.
because they've, you know, they can run their PR through them. Like they make the announcements when there's a new thing in the company. There's a new book, like cool. They help promote it.
So, okay. So back up for a second. You had this conversation and you were kind of like having this come to Jesus moment with your team.
We have a come to Jesus moment like every year.
That's
and if
fine.
you're not doing that, you're not doing that, you're just kind of lazy and you're phoning it in and you have a chance of like being uprooted. And I think because we have those conversations so often, I think that's why one of the fortunate reasons we're around and we're growing, you know?
Yeah.
Because if we were like, you know what, Facebook video is going to be like big for 5 years straight, we would have been fucked. We would have not been in business anymore.
Yeah.
We would have never tried another platform like Twitch. And like, how does food belong on Twitch? And then Twitch was a big part of like a year or two of our business. That was, you know, quadrupled what we made the years before because we just tried something new. But if you just keep resting and you don't talk about yourselves, you don't like look yourself in the mirror like, damn, could I do anything different? And it helps being a little bit more small of a company.
For sure. And I you know, personally talking about that, like I'm not a huge company. Like I don't even consider myself. Is a company, but essentially like you got to adapt. You got to bob and weave. I always say, I've been saying this, like I say it every episode, you got to like, you know, shift, because if you put all your eggs in one basket and the basket breaks, all your eggs crack.
Exactly.
That's a good metaphor right there.
Yeah.
So what was the end result of that conversation? What are you doing differently now?
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the end result is we looked at each other and everyone was like, let's just have more fun.
Yeah.
Like every so often you like start getting in this cycle, and you want to grow either as a person or as a company, and you start injecting, processes and like, this is how you should do this. And then, okay, when you want to look back in the day, I want to make a video. I just make a fucking video.
Yeah.
I would pull out a camera. I would go to the restaurant I want to go to. I would film it. I'd film myself. I'd film people. You go home, you edit it, you cut it, you publish it, and then you tweet about it. And then, that's the creation process.
Yeah.
You can't do that forever, but you got to know that you could do that. You got to know that worst comes to worst, we have a nice team of really talented people, but at the end of the day, I know that I could still walk out and make this video front to back myself. And so, but now as you grow and you want to scale, you start thinking about things, you start making decisions where you add all of this structure, which you need. Like, I'm not the dude adding that structure. There's really talented people. Like Chris is helping a lot in like structure management. He's a creative who's like, all right, man, this idea worked. Here's how we can like do it a lot.
Chris, by the way, is he's
a partner at Food Beast. One of my friends and partners.
Also a good friend.
Yeah. And same with Mark. Like Mark,
also a partner.
Mark runs our video department and helps us scale that. So he's really good at like, once an idea is kind of in the system, here's how to do a lot of it.
Right.
Here's the right people. Here's talented editors. Here's this, here's that. Part of the drab of being a creative and writing or creating stuff.
What does drab mean?
Drab means like part of the slog, part of the like what could take away your energy.
What does slog mean?
What is,
I get it. Part of like
what makes it not fun anymore is like, damn, making a video should just be fun.
Yeah.
You should just like, you have an idea you want to try. You don't know if it's good or not, but you're just excited to do it. You're excited to tell someone's story. You just go do it.
Creativity usually is always birthed in that, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it because it's interesting to you, because you want to have a good time. You have a vision. You want to see it come to fruition. And then business gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah. And what people might miss, and what I miss too, is sometimes like, okay, you don't make a video for a few months because maybe I'm working on other parts of the business, and I come back and I'm like, guys, I have this idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's this XYZ. Let's do it. Like, okay, great, Eli. Let's put it into the calendar. Let's have a meeting around titles for this video. Let's have a meeting around this and have a meeting around this. All of these are very good things. You absolutely need these. But for like, as a creative, you're just like, fuck, man, can we just go make the video?
Yeah.
Can we just go break some eggs?
By the time you're ready to go,
I've lost interest in the
You've
video.
lost interest.
So
I think that, you know what? That's like a creativity flaw in people like us. Because I do the same thing. Like, I write a list of recipes down. I go shop them at the grocery store. I come back, I make one of them, and then I forget. And then I don't want to cook anymore because I'm just tired and like my creative juices are lost or something. I tried to do something in my brain. It didn't work out necessarily. Now I'm frustrated. And like all of a sudden my creativity is lost until the next day or the day after, and my groceries are spoiled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But if you didn't have a system, you wouldn't be able to make as many recipes as you do. You know? So eventually you thug that part out. And I say all this sounds so super negative, but ultimately we need all of these processes.
Yeah.
And part of the creative
processes or processes.
I don't know. Processes sounds so fucking fancy. It's
way
awesome.
nice. It's way cooler.
Yeah.
It's like pluralizing a word like octopi. Right?
Hummi.
Ooh.
Which is multiple hummuses.
Yeah. What did I say? One time we were talking the other day, I had a word like that I was talking about. Remember? Mayonnaise. How many mayonnaises? Mayonnaise.
That's terrible. That's like the worst one that we've said so far. At least hummi, you kind of start, you know where it came from.
Yeah, it's true. Do you though? All these processes that like are maybe will fuck your creativity up are a necessary evil, because eventually that helps create the best idea.
Yeah, you want to keep, if you have ambitions to scale whatever your creative process is, you eventually need some processes.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to be able to want to scale what you're doing.
Right.
But it's also like nostalgic for people. Like people like always like, damn, like how do I make a company? Like, do you really want a company? Like, if you just want to make content and make cool shit, like you could do it yourself. You have everything at your disposal. You likely have a phone. You likely have some technology that you can help. It's just dependent on the person. If you just want to go make things, go make things.
I think overthinking as a creative is a hard thing to get over.
Yeah.
And also, I always find myself like going back to like basic stuff. Like I have like so many cameras. I have so many different ways I can film content. And sometimes I'm just like, damn, I need to make this more basic. You know, I need to do that. Like sometimes I'll just switch to my phone and use my phone instead of using these like $1,000 cameras that I have.
Yeah. Having too much equipment can be a hindrance. We're like, yo,
100%.
dude, let's just go film a video. Like, all right, which one do you want? Do you want like this one? Like the bigger the camera, the more footage it takes.
Yeah.
And now you're like, your video that could have taken an hour to shoot, film, and edit and publish. If you shoot it on a big ass camera, well, like, got to dump that footage. All right, now that footage needs to go to a particular editor because you don't have the computer to edit it.
I was talking to Fitwaffle the other day, who's a friend of ours from the UK. She makes Eloise. She makes like really good dessert content, and she's like, I shoot and edit on my phone. She's got billions of views and millions of followers across so many platforms, and she buys a new iPhone every month to film on.
Really? Every month?
Yeah,
That's news. That's crazy.
it's crazy.
I hear her because I don't get billions of views on my videos, but my editing process, my whole filming process is I'll go eat at a place like a restaurant. I wake up the next morning. I edit on a walk. I take a walk around my neighborhood. I edit 2 to 3 videos that are in my pipeline. And then I might publish one on my walk. Right. And so it's funny. People are like, hey, you fat fuck. Like, how do you eat all this shit? I'm like, I only edit when I walk.
Yeah. Like you're literally exercising while like you're editing that video.
Yeah.
How do you walk and edit at the same time?
Oh,
you know?
dude, just headphones. You're in a
I know, but you don't need to like go like, you know, like get tight. Like get,
yeah,
like,
scrub on the timeline. You could do it. I mean, the apps on your phone.
What do you use on your phone? What do you,
I use an app called InShot.
Same.
It's
I use that
totally
too.
free. You can upgrade for like a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And you know, that's all I use to edit.
Yeah.
And now the app is really good. It does all your captions. But it's funny because here I go eat, which is my production day. Like I go eat a burrito or I eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And then I go home or wherever I want to walk that day. I do a walk, hopefully an hour, get a good walk in, get the heart rate up. In that hour, I've edited like 2 videos at least. And then at the end of that hour, I publish, spend a little bit of time in the comments, going back and forth, talking shit with people. And that's a published video.
Yeah.
You know?
Back to how we started talking about that is like people overthink it. Do you want to be a company or do you just want to make content? And do you want to make good content or do you want to make original content or do you want to make non-good content and non-original content? Because we talk about this all the time. There's in the food space online, like in the creativity food space, there's like little things that are interesting.
I'm really bored.
It's so boring.
Yeah. People overthink a company too. Like a company is just an entity that makes money.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. So like you could be a single person company.
Sure.
It just, do you make money? Does the amount you spend all year making the things that you want to make, does it generate more money than you spent?
Yeah.
That's a company. You also could be a company that loses money and there's like a lot of benefits to losing money too. We go into taxes if you want. But generally that's all a company is. So when someone's like, damn, I can't wait to have a company, like you might have a company already, folks. Like you might actually, like you're a single person company before you hired somebody else, but you're still a company. And a lot of companies with few employees make the most money. They put the most money back into their pocket.
Yeah.
It's no longer sexy to like, I have 100 employees and like, and look at that when you are joining a company too. Like, remember, a company doesn't have to be that complex.
Yeah.
So when you're like, you think a company owes you all of these things, it really doesn't. It's just the company's guiding light is to make money.
You know who just tweeted about that? Our friend Greg Eisenberg.
Greg Eisenberg is such a gem of a person.
So smart.
Yeah.
He literally just said that on if you guys don't know who Greg Eisenberg is, go follow him. He is a business guru. He's started and sold dozens of companies.
But he's like the least insufferable version of a business
so
guru online. I didn't even realize he was being a business guru until I was like, oh, he's actually a business guru now.
Yeah,
but
so he tweeted this 4 days ago.
Mhm.
And it's very relevant to what you just said. He said, the amount of employees you have isn't impressive anymore.
It's not.
Revenue per employee is. He goes,
Yeah.
call me crazy, but that's my point of view. I just met a VC-backed founder who told me his 2001 startup just hit 300 US employees. He had a giant smile on his face waiting for me to be in awe, but this doesn't feel like a huge win to me. although he's happy for him. He's like, I'm more impressed with smaller teams. It's way more interesting, especially ones that leverage automation, AI, social content, etc. Instead of generating $100,000 per employee, you generate $1 million per employee. He's like, wow, tell me how. That's really interesting. Oh, your customer care team is 99% powered by AI. Smart. Tell me how. Your marketing team is one person who manages a few agencies. The number of employees used to be a badge of honor, but in 2024, he doesn't think it is anymore. And then he goes on to like talk about all that stuff. So
That's big facts though, because
so smart.
when I used to want to join a company, you'd want like a big company. You're like, I want to be on a big team. But you don't realize it sounds, if you said what Greg said, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, someone out in the wild might say, damn, that dude's like a really greedy person. Like, oh, you're going to make millions of dollars per employee as opposed to like $100,000 or $50,000. If you're
what does that mean on face value? It's like, oh, you're overworking your employees.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what it sounds on paper. And to be honest, that might be a case, right? But the other case is that could be considered is if you work at a company with, say, only 10 employees versus 100, but those 10 produce the same amount, both from output and revenue, there's a bigger pie for those 10 people to have a better life. So versus like you have to split that pie with 100 people. So that's something to consider as you either build a company or want to be a part of it. And you got to fight for what you need as an employee too, as a person. So if you see that your company is making 100 million and your salary or your compensation hasn't adjusted to that, there's a problem there too, right? Then you have a greedy owner at the top. But in a perfect world, I'd rather be on a team with 10 people that makes $10 million than on a team with 100 people that make $10 million.
For sure.
Because think about it. You're split. You only have that same $10 million to split, but now you're splitting with 100 people. That's a good like incentive structure or guiding light for someone that works at that company. Like, yo, can I do the job of 2 people? You don't want to work the hours of 2 people.
No,
I'm not like
that's not what we're saying.
Work less, but work smarter.
Work smarter, yeah. Not harder.
And don't be offended that you guys are being like really effective. Fight for what you want, what you deserve as a human and as a person at that company. Just do good work there. But I think that's where the world is going. Like technology is making things a lot easier.
As it always has.
It has. Like this isn't new. When I hear AI, like whatever, that was search, whatever, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
If you're like afraid of AI, then you were also afraid of the internet. Mm-hmm. And like, if you were afraid of the internet, then you are behind right now. Just like you will be if you don't use AI. I just wrote a whole business plan this morning with using AI.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was amazing.
It's awesome.
I made a whole line item of things for like budget and all that, a proposal, a summary, everything using AI. Full circle back to what you were saying, like Foodbeast has never been a humongous company yet. In fact, I think you're smaller now than you have been in the last little while.
From a headcount perspective, we had more employees in 2019 than we did today in 2024. Our revenue is damn near double what it was in 2019.
Perfect full circle
So
moment.
In 2019, we had different leadership and we were fucking patting ourselves on our backs, smelling our own farts like, damn, we're a growing media company with a lot of employees.
Yeah. Thinking that was the answer.
Yeah. And dude, straight up, like we didn't make a lot of money. Like I know what I made for a living then, and I wasn't excited or happy or like eating right. And so I can only imagine the employees on our team at the time, like that, I get it. I get it. So we have less employees now producing incredible work across a bunch of different verticals. It's because the people on the team are fucking killer. They're awesome, and we can grow better. So like what we had to do from a leadership side is how do we treat our employees better? Like they're going to do good work and they're doing good work. How do we bring on people that it used to be like, damn, you're getting like these multifaceted, multi-hat wearing people. Like you're planning on working them to the bone. Like, no, we plan on being nimble. We plan on like, if the business model changes, the people that we have here are smart people that can adjust. Like that's the type of, if you don't want to be a part of that system, like you go somewhere else. And so like the people that we have are really fucking good and they're talented. Like they might have a singular title, but they're talented at multiple things.
Yeah.
So we our business model changed even this year, like, oh shit, anyone that was working on Twitch and we're like, oh, maybe we don't want to do that as much. Those guys work on something else right now.
If you're stuck in one thing and you're working on one thing and that one thing goes away, then you're fucked.
This happens at big companies.
Well, hello, you guys let's compare other food media companies that don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, BuzzFeed is a completely different beast than it was. Tastemade is a completely different beast than it was. All these companies had hundreds of employees and they don't anymore.
Yeah.
And they missed that boat.
Like if you're a copy editor and you don't want to like also be a writer and you don't like, you kind of shy away. Like I just want to be a copy editor. Scary.
Yeah.
That's scary because I could just put it into, you don't even, it's scary for a lot of reasons, but that's an example that could be extrapolated around. I used to have a lot of friends that worked at like Fortune 500 companies and they just have, they're very content and singular around
Rigid.
their job title. Yeah. And the moment a company wants to contract, like if you aren't flexible in what you want to learn or like, hey, like asking like, could I do something else or something different? Like they'll just chop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds scary. But all I'm saying is just like be flexible and be interested in learning if you want to continue to make money in the 2024.
Yeah. I had a conversation yesterday with my buddy and he was saying how he's like, my thumbnail editor just left because he's got a family and he needs to like insurance and all these sort of things. And I was like, and he's like, oh, it's cool. It's fine. He like taught me a lot of things. I really appreciate it. He left on good terms. No problem. And then he went into this thing about how his current editor and filmer, if he leaves, then his channel will be drastically looking different. And I was like, do you want to give that editor like that much power on your business? Like that's not a smart move to do. I was having this conversation yesterday with him.
Mm-hmm.
I said to him, I'm like, why don't you give him like some sort of vested interest in the company? Because then it's more security for you. If you're putting all this fate into one guy and that one person leaves, like, what are you going to do? You're kind of fucked. Right. And he was like kind of tripping out a little bit about it.
Couple ways to skin that cat. Like your friend could absolutely give a vest. Like if that person that's contributing like if he feels that person is defining the way his channel is making money, then that's a partner in some capacity.
Yeah.
But if that person editing or whatever is like, people aren't replaceable.
Well, figure it out. Either bring someone on so that you can teach him what to do.
Yeah.
So that if someone leaves, like you have backup.
Yeah.
Give him vested interest so that he doesn't leave, or take your chances.
Yeah. But if the person's trying to start a family, you got to talk to him and find out like how can this channel feed us?
Yeah.
Because maybe it doesn't feed both right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So then you're just like, making people a partner in something that will not feed both
is useless.
Anyway, is useless because it's just a path to resentment anyway.
Yeah.
And then when it inevitably doesn't feed you both, then you've split your equity and you don't have a product that can make any more money.
And you hate each other and you're pissed.
Exactly. And then you ruin a friendship.
Yeah.
So that can happen. Like if you start splitting too much of a pie too early, like before you know it works, I think early on when you're starting a company, it feels like it's better to just like, you need one person always that is like ready to press the gas. You can't like, if two people are trying to like, you do half of this, you do half of this, and it just takes too long. Someone has to. It doesn't mean you can't have a partnership. Doesn't mean it even can't inevitably be equal. But you need, in my experience, you need somebody to like be the one that keeps like pushing through.
Yo, when I was working with the guys at the beginning of my career, I only cared about making the food. I didn't know anything about filming. I didn't know anything about editing, lighting, or anything like that. So when I left, I had to relearn all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know how to do everything.
Yeah.
You're the same way. Like, you know how to do everything at your company, essentially.
Well, I have an interest in most of the things that we do.
Yeah. How uninteresting is food content right now?
It's pretty tough out there. There's like a select few creators that I'm like particularly.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
By.
I'm just saying it's like so fucking monotonous.
What's funny is a friend that we know, he represents a couple agencies, and he's like, "Damn, you just eat in your car, huh?" It's like, fuck, man, I'm exactly what I fucking make fun of. Yeah, but what's you're bored with food content right now?
Yeah, I'm bored. I like coming up with ideas, and I do every day, and I love creating them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get in my head about seeing the same video posted by 5 different creators, the same recipe, the same shots, the same everything, the same music.
We're going down a weird path as food creators if that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Like if all we're doing is feeding Instagram and TikTok iterations of the same recipes, we're in a really bad place like as people, because all we're doing is giving Instagram and TikTok, Meta, and YouTube just data to replace us.
Yeah.
We really are not, like, if your face isn't in it, if you are not adding something new and iterative to it, yeah, you might make a living for a short period of time. But really, we are just inputting data into a system that is going to replace us. It can't replace a person, can't replace a narrative, but it can damn sure replace a recipe.
Yeah.
Like it could damn sure do that right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's then when I see it and I do see like, I'll see like, oh shit, that's a cool looking croissant chicken Caesar salad sandwich. Example I just saw. I was like, that's cool. And then my For You page goes up and it goes up, goes up. And I was like, oh shit, I just saw 6 of the same recipe.
Yep. That's what frustrates me. That's what annoys me.
It's annoying, but then I get sad. I'm not doing that. So I almost get sad for the person on the other end inputting that because that you're back at your desk job inputting the same thing.
Yeah, that is sad. You know, I see people creating recipes and like the title of the recipe is making the viral insert thing here. So what that says to me is like, here's a copy, here's a version, the same version of something that went viral.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's so
and to what end? To what end? And to there's people that do a great job. So I think there's things to
I'm not
talk
saying
about.
everyone's like that.
Yeah, but I get the idea that it's like it's weird snowball effect, and TikTok and Instagram are built to do this.
Yeah,
they're built and they're better ideas. So if you go on TikTok right now as a creator, they'll start prompting you with things that TikTok needs to fill a catalog. This is what's going on TikTok right this moment.
Say that again.
TikTok is prompting creators. You go in the back end of TikTok and it's like, don't know what to create? Maybe consider making an egg omelet with chili oil.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? It's because TikTok has a certain amount of catalog they need to fill because they have so much data on people. People are searching how to make chili oil eggs and they don't have enough content for it to keep you on the platform. So what they're doing is they'll put these prompts for people. And then all of these creators are like, I can make chili oil eggs. Let's just do it. I'll look up another recipe on whatever website so that everyone's copying from the same thing. And all of a sudden, TikTok has a workforce, fucking worker bees, just making the same recipes for what? A couple dollars every million views you get?
First of all, barely that. Second of all, it's not even about the money. It's about the dopamine of getting a million views.
It's the dopamine, but what is that dopamine really doing? If you think about it, if your face isn't in that video, if you're not building any sort of brand equity for yourself, like you take care of yourself, people. Like if you're not building brand equity for yourself, all you're doing is you built a video for TikTok to monetize, for Instagram to monetize, and everyone else will forget about you tomorrow.
Yeah.
They will. Unless it's like, hey, like your videos are a good example of like, all right, my name is Josh. I'm making a recipe you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Like I'm not following the TikTok prompts.
Yeah,
there.
but I fall victim of the same thing of not putting my face in it enough. You know?
Sure, but I think you should. But you also there's other ways to build brand without using your face.
Yeah, for
right.
Sure.
So you, in your example, you're building creations that are the first to market.
Yeah,
really. So you're not following that same prompt as like, hey, TikTok universe, we need a bunch of pancake omelets today. Like that's what we need today. And so everyone's just, it's like pulling a number at work. It's like just going into a factory and everyone's making the same thing.
Yeah.
It is really sad.
I never thought of it like that. It's kind of like eerie.
It is TikTok's business model right now.
Yeah.
Some smart motherfucker at TikTok is saying, hey, this is how we're going to get all of these fucking schmucks, all of these marks to just make videos for us. Do you know why? We're going to give them the followers easy. You see how easy it is to get followers on TikTok?
Yeah.
They're not following you. No one follows people for people on TikTok.
Definitely not.
You follow a video because you may have enjoyed it. But the really good people, like people don't know who I am on TikTok. They know me as the guy that eats a bean and cheese burrito.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know my name. And I can't name singular. I know Keith Lee because I've seen enough of him, right? Yeah. And he also has a really good brand. It's good. It's good to see. But really, TikTok.
You like Keith Lee, by the way? You like his content? I don't get it.
I didn't like it at first, and I really like it now.
I still don't get it. But anyways.
But just to kind of button this point, I think what TikTok has done to not just food content, but content in general, has democratized it to a point that we might not be able to get back from it. So on YouTube, which was like a golden era of an analog from TV, you follow an entire channel and you follow the videos that they put up. You follow a guy who reviews theme park rides. Fall in love with this guy, you follow his journey, you can't wait for new videos to subscribe. You think of them like an actual channel. Every Thursday, this guy's going to put up an upload. I can't wait to watch, right? That's golden content because it's still democratized to the point like anyone can start a YouTube channel. It's free to do. You can make a living off of it. It's awesome. I think YouTube had that. They still have that to an extent. TikTok comes around and instead of a channel, hey, it's a video. There's just a For You page where it just needs millions of inputs. Those inputs are videos that you and I and everyone in this room is making for free. We're creating things for free. As a result of having millions of options, you no longer need to follow any one person. I get served the same people on TikTok, but I don't follow them. I don't follow Keith Lee, but I get a lot of Keith Lee videos. Because TikTok somehow knows I like food reviews, I like food porn, I like friendly people. That's my feed. But what's happening right now is TikTok's working so well. The idea where you don't have to follow any specific channel. You don't have to get your max package on cable anymore. We just know what you want.
Yeah.
And everyone's making it for free that it works so well on TikTok. YouTube said, we should do the same thing. So they make YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts is probably the Achilles heel for YouTube if it works as well as they think it should. Because why the fuck would you follow anyone anymore on YouTube?
Why would you subscribe?
If you just go to the YouTube Shorts and you get exactly what YouTube knows you want. If it works as well as TikTok, we're seeing like gone is the idea of like thematic follow-throughs on it because we'll just get served whatever's hot in that moment. And we're the problem. We've fed into those things and we continue to invest in them for free.
Like you said, we're doomed kind of if like this is what happens in terms of creativity, like everything's sort of like an assembly line.
I think we have to think of it differently. So yeah, that's a doom gloom if that works that way. We also are at a time where we can make whatever it is that we want.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of what it is. That's what is beautiful right now in 2024. We can make whatever we want. We could go make a fucking IMAX-worthy feature film right now, bro.
On your phone.
We could edit it tonight and we could publish it tomorrow on YouTube and have all the breakdown clips and put those on TikTok to drive awareness to that. Like we could do that today. And it's awesome. So I think it's just a push to be even more creative and to be even more yourself and find more reasons to have a through line. Because your through line is no longer the channel that someone follows.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea now is make stuff that's so memorable, that breaks through, and it's so memorable that they have to figure out who that guy that's making a bean and cheese lasagna. You know, like, oh, I've never seen that. Not the guy who's making a Caesar salad for the 3,000th time that day. That's where that's what we have to break through on. And that's why you remember a Keith Lee. He's unapologetically himself. He's so nervous of speaking that he covers his mouth when he leaves food reviews. You remember that. You're like, who is this guy? Handsome guy, eating good food. Why is he so shy? I see myself in him. And you see it again and again and again.
Relatability.
And again. Boom. Keith Lee's a brand. He's gonna have a career off. And he is. Oh my gosh, he's killing it. And so this is just an idea that like, guys, it doesn't have to be doom and gloom.
Right.
The technology that's also speeding us in this direction of fucking homogenous, boring bullshit is also potentially speeding you in a direction of making the coolest shit we've never seen yet. And that's what I'm like most interested in.
Right. So we started this by me saying how uninterested I am of all these things because it's everything I see is uninteresting. But in reality,
Yeah.
if you're smart enough and creative enough, that's going to drive you to make the best shit.
Yeah.
I used to say it all the time. Make better content.
Just make it good.
Yeah.
And we have there's no reason to not make good content anymore.
No.
Like we have everything we need. So I think I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing nuggets of people do things that are really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And like we need to empower follow those people.
Follow the people that make creative, engaging, entertaining things.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to doom scroll and watch the same chicken Caesar salad croissant sandwich.
Yeah.
Which sounds delicious, by the way.
Like the Mythical Kitchen. I think that's a great example.
Kill it.
Josh shared like that. You see that video, you see the kitchen it's in, you see the type of recipe that comes out. You get it.
Yeah. It's
you
unique.
get it.
It's unique.
You know?
Until it's not, but it's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, just uninteresting. But what is interesting is having you here to just talk shit. You know?
I had fun.
This is like, I'm trying to like get something new here going where we can just riff and talk about whatever.
It's like the state of affairs of content, I feel.
It is the state of affairs. We're correspondents together for the state of affairs.
We're gonna check each other.
Yeah. If you guys like this version of the podcast, then let me know. If you want to see other people kind of like come in like Eli does and will in the next foreseeable future to just talk shit, then let me know. And dude, always good times.
I love it.
Talking smack.
I love it.
We're probably going to continue talking more smack after this.
Let's talk.
Because we just like doing that. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Full Discourse is a podcast hosted by me, Josh Elkin, produced by Diane Kang, Melissa D. Montz, and Diamond M Print Productions. Camera operator Jeff Liu. Post-production sound by Coco Lawrence. Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson. And music by me.